Hey guys, Non-Zero here, coach of the Chicago Blacephalon, bringing you my Week 1 team builder for my match against TFMC and the Paulista Politoeds in the UAPB. So, right off I'll just go ahead and say what his squad is. You can see it appear probably to the right in a moment here. It's going to be Zygarde, Mega Gardevoir, Bisharp, Heliolisk, Swampert, Golbat, Aerodactyl, Torkoal, Klefki, Chandelure, and Shiftry. So the first thing I noticed about his team is this Sun mode. He's got a setter in Torkoal and also potential abusers in Heliolisk, Chandelure, and Shiftry. But as you can see here, I have a reasonably good answer, actually two reasonably good answers to Sun in my Araquanid and Snorlax, and in fact both of these mons just match up really well against his team in general. Doesn't have a great way to knock out Araquanid, and he doesn't have a great way to knock out Snorlax. You notice that he actually doesn't have a fighting type. He has fighting type coverage in maybe Focus Blast from Mega Gardevoir or Brick Break from Bisharp, but neither of those are really doing much to bulky Lax. So I decided I'd build around these two mons. And as you can see here, I ended up running setup on both. So they're kind of both win conditions in their own right. My Araquanid set is more of a defensive trap set with Infestation, Liquidation, Stockpile, and Rest. Infestation is just a move that can hit both Golbat and Heliolisk and beat them both down. And the rest is just really standard. For both Snorlax and Araquanid, I ended up running a plus special defense, so a careful nature, just to make use of the naturally high SPDF in both cases. Max defense and careful nature is, I think, the best spread for these mons. If you're running them set up like this, just because it maximizes their capacity to take hits. And yeah, not really much else to say about these two. Curse Facade, Rest, Earthquake is the set on Snorlax, just hits everything on his team for neutral. So I'm really hoping the set will put in some work. Now I understand that he does have the measures to deal with these two mons. I'm expecting that he's going to bring either Phasing on Golbat or Swampert, or he's going to bring Switcheroo on Chandelure or Klefki. But I have workarounds for those, and as soon as I identify which measures he brought to stop setup, I'll be able to target those mons and try to weaken them. And Switcheroo, for example, is something where, let's say that Switcheroo is the only thing he brought for Curselax, then once you've used Switcheroo, it's not really effective because now you have leftovers and it won't do anything. And so, let's say his Chandelure uses Switcheroo and gives my Snorlax a Choice Scarf, then I can just go set up later with Araquanid. So that's kind of the game plan. If either of these two mons is able to win on its own, that'll be great. If not, I think they can still put in some work, able to weaken some of the bulkier mons on my opponent's team. So that's going to be those two, and now let's go into the supporting squad. Starting with a third win condition here. So kind of if you brought a lot of measures for Snorlax and Araquanid, or he's able to, catch me off guard and eliminate them somehow, then this is my backup win condition. Either with Rock Polish or with Sword Stance, or in a very rare case that I get to do both, I can Double Dance. All I really needed attack-wise is my Dual Stabs. You can see that Dual Stabs hits his entire team neutrally, with the only thing being able to really take Terrakion on being like a max defense Swampert or something. Also, obviously he has Klefki to Thunder Wave me, which could be a bit annoying, but still this mon has a lot of potential to put in work late game. And there is also a couple of mind games, right? If I think he's going to Thunder Wave with Klefki, I can switch into either Snorlax or a non-mega evolved Manectric to take advantage. So that's going to be this set, and moving on here, we have Silvally Fairy. So I decided to bring Silvally Fairy mainly because of his Zygarde. I think this set in particular does a pretty good job at deterring the Zygarde and making it so that Zygarde won't win outright. The only way that he can really touch Silvally Fairies if he brings Iron Tail, which would be a really good tech on his part. But even +1 Iron Tail doesn't take out Silvally. It's not even close. So I'm able to just, Ice Beam him back and put him in range of some of the other mons that you'll see in a second. And yeah, this is just a pretty standard support set. Defog, Parting Shot, Toxic, and Ice Beam. Able to do something versus this entire team. Moving on, here we have Scarf Jirachi. This is my secondary measure for Dragon Dance Zygarde. Nothing on my team really allows Zygarde to set up multiple times. So the worst that can kind of happen is that it gets to +1. And if that's the case, then Scarf Jirachi outspeeds it and is able to take it out with an Ice Punch after a bit of prior damage. So that's really the story behind the set. I was sort of toying with a couple of other moves for the Stealth Rock slot, like Healing Wish, U-Turn, Energy Ball, Drain Punch, a couple others. But I ended up going with Stealth Rock, just because it's nice to have his team pressured by rocks. His Defogger and his Spinner are both weak to rocks. He, I guess, could also have Defog on Klefki, but Klefki is more likely to bring Spike Stack on Klefki. So that's going to be the set. And finally, rounding out the squad, we have Mega Manectric. This is just a mon I brought to, one, lure in Swampert. Hidden Power Grass knocks out Swampert after a bit of chip, depending on its investment, of course. I suspect it would run defensive for the Terrakion, but if it's running Spadef, Hidden Power Grass does still 2-hit KO. And yeah, this is just the set. Hits everything on his team. Unfortunately, it doesn't hit the Zygarde, but probably he would fear HP Ice if I haven't revealed HP Grass yet. So that's kind of the deal there. If this thing got Grass Knot or Icy Wind or something, that would be amazing. But this still doesn't allow Zygarde to set up, because at the absolute worst case I can hit it with a Toxic before switching out. And that's really going to be the whole team. I didn't bring Volt Switch on this mon, by the way, because there's really no reason to. Right, nothing wants to take a Thunderbolt other than his ground types, and obviously Volt Switch wouldn't do anything to his ground types anyway. So that's why I just went with these moves. Flamethrower really add just because I needed a 4th move, and because it hits Shiftry, I guess. And that's going to be the team anyways. Hoping that I can manage to put in some work with either of my 2 setup mons. I often like to run setup for week 1 in like new leagues, because it's just kind of testing the waters at that point, seeing what kind of prep other people are doing, what kind of teams other people are bringing. And so it's one of those things where if I can win outright with one of these, then great, and if not, then I still have a decent chance at the game. So that's going to be the team we bring. Hope it puts in some work. This time tomorrow the battle's going to go up. By the time this goes up, I'll have already played the match, and so hopefully it'll go well. Good luck to my opponents. That's going to be all for now. See you guys next time. Peace.